Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is the 1st of September, it's Monday, and let's see what this new month will bring on the US stock markets and other markets for that matter. There has been quite some movements Friday and also starting today. So let's have a look at Nasdaq 100 that got hit by some selling pressure. Friday, 1.2% lower. It seems to have got rejected here at the 786 retracement of this correction move here. So it didn't get up to new all-time highs. It didn't move above 24,000, and now we could maybe see it setting back a little bit. There's some support here just around 23,000, 22,950 area, where we have the 55 moving average coming up, giving some support. But the key one is 22,673 here pre-market, basically unchanged. So that will be key here the next few days. What will it do? Will it bounce back or will it slide lower? I think we will see some selling pressure here in September. It's usually a cleaning house month and back to school month, where a lot of investors and traders, they are back from summer holiday in August, and then they clear the books for unwanted investments that they don't want to have on the books when we enter the rest of the year and the last quarter. So that's usually where you see quite some volatility in the stock market. S&P 500 also set back a little bit Friday. Not that much, but still. And let's have a look at the cash index, only 0.64%. Set back a little bit here, pre-market unchanged. So not much to report there, but we did Thursday last week. We got a new all-time high, so still a fairly strong bullish trend, but could come under pressure also. And if I add this horizontal line there, that's the first step, or the minor support, 6,343. If it takes out and close below that, well, then we have demolished or reversed this bullish trend. Dow Jones, still also bullish trend, but as you can see here on Dow Jones, and was also on S&P 500, we have massive divergence on the RSI, meaning that we are in a trend exhaustion mode short term. And also here on the Nasdaq, you will see it's declining, market moved higher. So there is some divergence on the RSI indicating bullish trend exhaustion, and that's what we could possibly see also hitting here in September. Hang Seng index, moving on to that, pushing up more than 2% higher after jumping off this support here, just after peaking just below the rising trend line there, and it's jumped higher. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, but so you can see here there's divergence, but it seems like it's still very much alive, and it is in a bullish trend until it closed below 24,775. So still fairly strong and could push higher in the coming days and weeks. Let's see about that. I will be a little bit worried if it slides back below the rising trend line there. So keep an eye on that. But for now, it's still keeping on. Nikkei selling pressure this morning here, taking back 50% of this uptrend here. I think it could slide lower towards the 61.8 and the key support here at 41,280. On the European markets Friday, it was also some selling that hit it, and I think it could continue today. Here pre-market, as we can see on the EuroStoxx50, and not much really, more or less unchanged really, but could slide lower. Still above the 55 moving average, still above the cloud, and still positive sentiment despite the fact that it's actually below the 60 threshold, but there is positive sentiment just slightly. So I think we could see it also coming under pressure, especially if the selling continues in US later today and the coming days. If it bounces back above 5,430, then a bullish trend could resume. DAX index closed just below minor support there at 23,921. That is not of a worry at the moment, but we are in this Possibly bearish scenario if it closes below the cloud and especially below 23,757, then it could really accelerate. Here pre-market we can see on the German 40 CFD closed just above its 23,920, testing it this morning, and the 61.8 retracement of this uptrend there is just at the lower part of the cloud, so that will be key. And if it closes below that, and RSI will then most likely close below 40, that will mean we have a confirmed bearish trend. On the FX market, and euro dollar pushing higher after bouncing from just below the 116, the minor support here, and testing the upper falling trend line. I think we will see it pushing higher in the coming days if it takes out and closes above, especially 117.45. Then RSI will close back above 60 threshold, and we will have confirmed the bullish trend. Sterling dollar, still in this sideways range here between 134 and 136, but with a bullish move this morning, RSI slightly positive, and if it takes out 136, then we're looking at higher levels towards 138 for 139, and if it takes out the lows here around just below 134, 133 and 90, 85, 90, well, then a downtrend is in session. So a little bit range bound here, 55 moving average basically flat, but 100 giving some support there, so indicating we are to the upside, but I want confirmation. Euro sterling testing resistance there at 86.75 this morning. Will it take it higher? Well, the RSI is telling us that we are in a positive sentiment and we could push higher. And if RSI closes back above 60 threshold, well, then I think we will see it pushing higher towards the previous peaks here in the 87.5 and higher area, possibly higher. So that'll be key, still key support at 80, at around 86. Dollar yen still in this range here. We talked about for so long now. Excuse me. Slightly rising trend line there. It did look like we were forming a shoulder pattern, but it's not really. I mean, that's a very flat shoulder, very irregular. It has been seen, so let's see. And then this would be the neckline, but still it's not that pronounced. So I would be very cautious trading it like that. And there's still positive sentiment on the RSI, indicating higher levels. However, we still have this 200 moving average that's pushing it down. So not really a bullish picture at the moment. Also not that much of a negative picture. Excuse me. 55 moving average coming up there, trying to push it higher. So there is this wide range here between 148.55 and 145.75. Basically, it could dip down to the lower rising trend line, and where we have the 100 moving average also. So really not a clear picture for dollar yen for quite a while now. Euro yen seems to moving higher. It's mostly the euro that is moving. So euro yen could move up to test the 173 resistance here. If it pushes higher than that, well, then we are in for a move towards new highs here towards 175.5, support 171 area. Aussie yen testing the upper falling trend line in this falling channel-like pattern, and the 96.20 resistance. So that would be key here. I think if it takes out the peak today, which is just 96.45, if it takes it out, then I actually think we will see a move up towards a 97.30. Otherwise, I think we will see it setting back again and still be in this falling channel-like pattern. Sterling yen also bouncing a little bit from minor support here at 197.85. So that's the range we're looking for, up to around 200 spot 30. So could we move up there? Well, positive sentiment on the RSI is telling us we could see a push higher. So that would be key towards. We're also above the cloud. We're above 55 moving average. The 100 is still rising. So underlying medium-term trend is bullish, but from now we are just range bound. Aussie dollar crawling higher. Last week it got back above it moved above the 786 retracement and still slowly crawling higher. If RSI, well, it's actually knocking on the 60 threshold door. If it does close above, which I believe it will, then we will see a push higher towards 66 and a half. Possibly 66.80 up here, where we have some resistance in this region could be seen, unless it suddenly slides back below 65. Dollar Canada testing support here at 137.20. 55 moving average giving some support. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, so it could be the decision day or decisive here today. Will it bounce and will it continue and resume uptrend, or will it take it out the support there and then slide lower and completely demolish this and reverse this bullish trend? That would be key today, I think, and the next few days. We have Sterling Canada. Sterling Canada bounced exactly from the 50% retracement. I actually expected less of a bounce, but we had this massive volatility here Friday, and it is a fairly volatility pair, this Sterling Canada. So now we are bouncing, and I think we will keep bouncing. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. There's no divergence on these peaks there, so I think that was the correction we should see, and then we will bounce further. And for now, I think we'll see next move is towards 61.8 retracement, possibly up to 786 retracement at 187. If it takes out the lows here from Friday, just below 185, 184.90, well, then we are looking at 184 and a quarter. On the Swiss franc, he's bouncing now. It was below the 61.8, almost down to the 786, but didn't get all the way down there. And RSI, well, it has touched the 40 threshold, but then bounced. And I think we could bounce again here, unless we take out the lows here from last week. Then I think we'll bounce further, and we could see a move towards the 94.50 area again here. But it will not be a struggle, but we are in a positive sentiment, and if RSI gets back above 60 threshold, then I think we will see 94.50 being tested once again. That strong resistance there. Dollar Swiss slowly sliding lower, and it's below the cloud. It's below the 61.8 retracement, taking out some small supports there. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. But it seems to be just sliding lower here, and 786 retracement could be tested, and if it's being taken out, then I think we'll see it sliding lower, especially if RSI closes below 40 threshold. Then we will see dollar Swiss sliding lower. But there's a tug of war between the dollar and the Swiss here, so that is quite interesting to watch. It did look like a descending triangle. It could also be something else, and if I draw a trend line here from these lows to these lows, well, it's broken out of this, but it could also just be like a falling wedge or something. But let's see. I remove this because for now it's just bearish trend, lower low, lower high, lower low, and so let's see about that in the coming days. The dollar index very close to testing a 97.45 support. Could dip lower. We are below the cloud, we are below all moving averages, so I think we will see it sliding lower here in the coming weeks towards the previous lows here. Not the lowest low, but still 96.86, we could see that, but it is a key level here. You can see just around the 786 retracement also, so that's really decisive now. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, but if RSI closes back below 40 threshold, we are in a negative sentiment and downtrend confirmed. Metals are really on the move, especially precious metals. We have the gold that has reached 176.4 projection of this correction here, and has pushed to just below 3,500, 3,490 almost. I think we see it pushing higher, see positive sentiment, RSI pointing to higher levels in the coming days and weeks. So it is broken this deadlock here, also these peaks here, and we are very close to taking out the all-time highs there, just above 3,500, very few cents from it. We could see some setbacks, but the bullish trend is intact and seems fairly strong. We can also see here on the weekly chart, it's broken this triangle-like pattern with potential higher in the coming weeks, possibly even higher than 3,500. 36 is in the cards. The silver also moved higher, has broken the bullish above this minor resistance above the peak here, and RSI positive. There's slightly divergence, but I will trust the trend. And if we're looking at the weekly chart, and we have to zoom out quite a lot, then you can see where we are headed towards. Let's zoom out there. You see we have now above we talked about it for very long, quite a long time ago. First time it broke above the 37.50 area. There's not really much stopping it until around the 43, 44 area. These peaks here back from 2011. So really a strong move on silver. Of course, there will be setbacks, but for now, quite a strong move towards the 42, 43, and possibly 44. It is probably dragging platinum higher. We can see it's pushed higher here. I checked it earlier this morning. It didn't move much, and now it has moved. And expect the 1400 to be tested. RSI currently testing the 60 threshold. And if it does close above 60, back above it, it will further confirm bullish trend. We were warned a little bit when it broke above and closed above the falling trend line there, because the positive sentiment were never reversed. So I think we will see platinum also pushing higher towards the previous peaks here in the coming weeks. Will we get updates? Of course, debatable, but it's not unlikely. If it slides back below the and let's just add a horizontal line, and if it slides back below this one here, 13.23, then we are in neutral, and to 12.60 for a bearish trend. Copper is being dragged slowly higher, crawling towards the 465 resistance area here. We will also have the 200 moving average giving some resistance. So I think it would be a struggle to close above that, let alone pushing higher. On the energy side, we have WTI crude oil basically just trading sideways without clear direction. I think it will slide lower in the coming days. We have the 55 moving average sliding, pushing lower here, and if the lows here at 61.94 is being taken out, then we are looking at 60 level, possibly lower. Of course, we can see some counter moves, but I think we are to the downside. Also, given that we have a negative sentiment on the RSI, Brent crude oil, basically the same picture, moving around the 38.2 retracement here at 68.30, but also here we have the 55 moving average giving a pressure high. I think it was made just a correction lower. So let's move on to European nat gas, sliding lower towards the 30 level. I will remove this now after we got rejected up there, and add a new one and see where are there some levels. And we spiked down to the 786 retracement at just above 31, and then we had a bounce. So I think if it takes out that 31 level, then we are looking at levels below 30 towards N29. US nat gas tested the 786 retracement yesterday of this falling wedge here, just above $3. Will it have another go at it? It is not unlikely, and pushed towards 319. The peak of this falling wedge here, that is not unlikely. We could also extend this falling trend line to there. So but nevertheless, it was a falling wedge, and if we move this one up to here, well, we are just around 38.2, but for now, I took it from the falling wedge there, and it hit some of the Fibonacci levels there. RSI is still negative, but could test the 60 threshold, so that'll be key what will happen here the next few days. If it slides back below 290, then I think we will see a downtrend resuming. Moving on to yields and the US 10-year Treasury yield, both Friday and this morning it is testing the 420 key support. And you can see really key support here, 420. So if we do push below, and we didn't do that, 420 this morning, 420 last week, and also here 420, so really a significant level to watch out for. And if it takes it out, well, then we are looking at 412, especially if it's just leaving, if it moves below 418, then I think we're looking at 412, 410 on the US 10-year. But we could see a counter trend here. We could see a bounce that could take it back above 425, but we are in a bearish trend, but just need to confirm it. So let's see here the next few days how this will play out. On the European yields, European 10-year, it's actually bouncing quite strongly from just above the 61.8 retracement there, just a few steps above, pips above it, and has bounced and could push back towards the 279, possibly up to 283. Still positive sentiment, but we did have some and still do have some divergence on the RSI. But if it closes back above the falling trend line and above the 60 threshold, then we could see a push, also maybe taking out the 283 minor resistance there. So that'll be key next few days. What I will do is to say, okay, we had this correction there, and what could it make it to? See 138. Projection of this correction here is just around this resistance there, and we have been in a bullish trend for quite some time. Higher high, higher low, higher high, you can see, and moving up there. So seems fairly strong move indeed. UK 10-year also bouncing, and if it takes out 477, then the next is 482 and possibly higher. And RSI positive sentiment now back again above the 60 threshold, indicating likely higher levels. Japan had a little bit of correction, but I think it will take out the 165 peak there and push higher in the coming days towards 170. But it's not that convincing, but I think we'll slowly get there, especially a close above 165 will do that trick, I think. We have the cryptos, we have the Bitcoin. It's not the flavor at the moment. You can see the bearish trend here, move down, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we have reached the 138.2 projection of this move here, and the support at 107,200. I could slide lower. Negative sentiment on the RSI is indicating that we could see it sliding lower in the coming days and weeks. And it needs to get back above 112 as a minimum, but preferably above 113,482 at demolish that bearish trend. Ethereum, on the other hand, still holding on above the 786 retracement here at 4,256. But it needs to take out 4,066 to establish a bearish trend. There it is in a bullish trend exhaustion mode, but let's see if it moves back above 4,600, 4,700, then I think we'll see a push towards 5,000 once again. All right, that's all for today. And let's see what this week and month will bring on the markets. Have a nice day and talk to you again.